Hi guys, it's me again. I am back in London for one day and I wouldn't spend it with anyone else but you guys. So I'm currently touring with a guy called Max Jury, who is an incredible artist and he's a super funny guy, having a whale of a time. So check out what happened when I went to France. So I thought I would show you what's been happening on the tour in France and just give you a heads up of what it's like comparatively to tour in a foreign country, to tour abroad as opposed to touring in your home country, because there are some subtle differences and some major differences which I will cover in this video, guys. I'm currently on tour with Max Jury and it's a blast. I'm having so much fun. Max is a super talented guy, and when I mean talented, he plays the keys, he plays the guitar, he sings just like an angel. He's really great with stage and crowd interaction. I just really love working with him. And we've been in France for the last 8 days and it's been amazing. I have had more laughs in the last 7 days than I've had in a very long time, I'll be honest, because the band are really funny as well. This is Max, everyone! He's who I'm on tour with. He's hilarious and just a cool dude.
Oh, thanks.
I like that. There's Mark, everyone! It's Mark.
We're vlogging.
Mark is a tour manager. He's also just amazing. He's a cool dude. Walk into the camera, walk in like Brad Pitt.
Oh, damn.
Come on. Go out and go back in.
What would Brad Pitt do? He'd say, cut that. I'm walking back in.
Right. So there are some stark differences between being abroad, touring abroad, and touring at home. Like I just come off a UK tour. So there's quite a few things that I'll highlight as things to make note of. First thing being the language barrier. Obviously I speak no French, as in not a word. I probably could say hello, goodbye, and maybe a few other simple phrases, but they're no good to me in this context. Is when you're in France and you don't speak a word of French, is that you don't understand a thing.
What are vegetables?
Yeah, we're trying to figure out, we're using Google Translate to try and figure out exactly what any of this stuff means, because to be honest, legume is vegetable, but what's the rest of it?
Y'all want some water?
I don't understand. I don't speak French. So Google Translate was a fail.
No, it ended up working in the end. What were vegetables?
But what's the? I wanted this. What the others?
The crevettes.
Newlies, choinesis.
This looks like a kid's meal sort of thing.
So I do feel bad about not speaking any French, but luckily most of the people here are quite fluent in English, or at least speak English enough to get by. So it's made life really easy in terms of communication. Also, I'm pretty conscious of the fact that I don't speak French, and 9 times out of 10 I don't know where I am. So when they say call time is at 9 o'clock, I generally get there at 10 to 9, because I do not want to get left behind. I do not want to get lost. Not that they would leave me behind, but you know, you've got to be careful, especially being abroad and not be speaking the language. Another difference about working abroad or being on tour abroad is that you are dealing with different currency. So we are normally given an allowance each day, which you do get at home, but it's given to you in a different currency when you're abroad. So obviously being in France, we get euros. And so it's hard to compare how much things cost abroad to home. So you have to be extra careful about how much you spend. Not that you really need to spend much, because actually travel's covered, accommodation is covered, everything you could possibly need is covered, apart from food. So if you want to buy extra food or buy lunch, whatever, that's what that allowance is for. As a vegetarian, the only thing I've been able to eat really is bread and cheese, which is really difficult, because I wouldn't eat that at home. So it's been difficult to find things that I really want to eat, and then in the absence of having choice, you just have to settle for what's there, which often is cold cuts, which obviously doesn't apply to me because I'm a vegetarian, but One good thing is that each venue has catering, like a proper hot meal, which has been my saving grace for the whole time. And I'm finding that when you're on the move, everything's more expensive because you're normally buying things at hotels or you're buying them at service stations where everything is more expensive in general. Also, there's one big thing that I have to say is that when you're abroad, the internet becomes gold dust. Like, obviously, when you're calling international, everything's more expensive on the phone and data and all that kind of stuff. So the first thing I do when I get to a venue is ask for Wi-Fi. I just got my bill, guys, and I only turned my data on a couple of times and my bill has already doubled. So I will say that Wi-Fi becomes the most important thing ever. I've just changed over to a new network provider that allows you to use your data and your phone as normal when you're abroad. And I feel like it's going to be a game changer, guys, because my bills, because I've been doing a lot of gigs abroad lately and my bills have been ridiculous. So I would investigate, guys, if you're going to tour abroad or you're going to do work abroad, investigate how to save money, because although you're making money, you end up spending money. So guys, we're just getting ready to go on. The support band are currently on and they're actually pretty good. I'm listening kind of through the walls. So I'm really excited about doing the show. Putting this fake American accent on because he's from Iowa.
I am, unfortunately.
So Max is who I'm on tour with right now, and he's a funny guy.
Thank you for thinking.
So, talk about your music.
Music. A little singer-songwriter.
Yep.
A little soul, a little folk. Some pop music in there.
Right.
I like a lot of different kinds of music.
Right.
So I like to play a lot of different kinds of music.
So how did you end up in France? Because like you're a long way from home.
I am a long way from home. I ended up in France because I started working with my manager's from Paris, or my old manager.
Okay.
And I started working with him when I was like 19 or 20.
Okay.
And so just kind of because of that, career-wise things sort of started off in France.
Right.
And the UK as well.
Okay.
So that's kind of where it's been happening a little bit. That's where we've been playing. So yeah.
That's how it's going.
Yeah.
Talk about your band.
Lovely band. These guys are band. Pat on bass, Lawrence on guitar, Emily and Henrietta slaying the vocals.
Vocals, guys.
Slaying the vocals.
So how did you get in touch with them?
You know, it's funny. I had auditions.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and it was all random.
You didn't audition me.
Well, I mean, for God's sake. You don't need to audition. These idiots need to audition. But yeah, so it's just random, and we all got along really, really well.
Okay.
And became good friends and bandmates, and it's all jokes. Right. It's fun.
I think for me on this tour, because I have already been to France before, I'm not really doing as much exploring in terms of like being a tourist, but this tour seems to be more rural areas of France, places that I've never been to. So it's been really cool to see what it's like outside of Paris. But I think when you tour abroad, I think people have the misconception is that, sorry, I can't even speak, I'm so tired, guys. They have the misconception that you get to see the city that you're in, and that's not always the case. You often get to the city, you go to the venue, you do sound check, you go to the hotel, you get ready, you go back to the venue for the actual gig, and then you leave again. So often there's not much time to actually explore as tourists, and that's the downside of being away and working. So you're on someone else's time, and so you have to be conscious that you don't go off and do your own thing I guess touring, as much as it's great to go and see other places, it's not like going on holiday where you're on your own time, you've got your own schedule, and you can do what you want when you want. And I had to really be conscious of that when I first started touring, because I thought, oh yay, I'm going to Japan, and then you go to Japan and you see the venue and then you leave and you're like, oh, but I didn't get to see such and such. I'm like, well, you're not going to sightsee, you're going to work. So you know that I was on a Marty Pello tour, and that was 2 weeks, and then I've been on this tour for a week so far, and during that time I have missed my nephew's birthday, I've missed my sister's birthday, I've missed my dad's birthday, and I feel so bad about it. I mean, before I left I got to spend some time with my sister Grace. Hi Grace, I love you so much. So we got to celebrate early, but like I missed my dad's birthday, and I feel like, because family is so important to me, I feel really bad when I miss something major being on tour, but there's no option for me to just come home. And I felt really bad not being able to be with my dad this time around, and my nephew. And there's not really much you can do. You can try and make it up to them, but it's never the same if you're not there. And I'm sure many other singers and musicians and other creatives who work abroad will be able to relate to that, you know, not being able to be at special events because you're touring. But I always try and make it up to them. Like, I spent some time with my dad today, and obviously I celebrated my sister's birthday early, so that was my way of trying to compensate for that, but it's never the same. It was the last show tonight. This girl right here is having a mare right now. I think she's ready to go home.
Long time ago.
Long time ago. This is the downside, is that when you get delirious, like, it's mad. Sugar. We're having a bit of a rave to get us in the mood for the 100-hour drive that we're about to take back to, where are we going? Calais. I don't know. But it's far. But anyway, it's been an awesome trip. Now for the second leg, Australia. Thanks for watching, guys. I am having a blast on tour, so I'll be bringing you more of my tour diaries. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any videos. Make sure you get at us on our social media, because we love to hear from you. Until next week, guys.